This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission meeting. Today is August 26th, 2020. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the Planning Director for Kingston and the organizer for our virtual meeting. Before we begin our meeting, we would like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that members of the public and the press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. The organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commissioner or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. The chairperson will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and transcript recording. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city's website at a later date. In lieu of public speaking during the monthly meeting, we requested all comments to be received by 2 p.m. on Monday, August 24th, 2020. For the record, no comments were received. All meeting materials, applications, supporting documentation, written comments may be found on the city website by going to www.kingston-ny.gov, and on the home page, scroll down to the bottom. Under meetings, you will see Heritage Area Commission listed. Click on the link for agenda and you will find universal hyperlinks for all the information. If at any time you have an audio issue, please send a text to the following number, 845-443-0416. I will repeat that number again, but be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to lock and pause the meeting to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately or to enter into an attorney-client conference if needed. On behalf of the Commission, I wish to thank everyone for their continued patience during this unique time and wish you and your family good health. I will now turn the floor over to Chairman Hayes Clement to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you for fellow commissioners for joining us. Seeing as we have a quorum, I am now calling to order the August 26, 2020 meeting of the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission. It being, what time? 6:36. As Sue said, there are no public comments on record, so we will skip to the first order of business, which is the adoption of the minutes of our last meeting of July 22nd, 2020. Have all of the commissioners had a chance to review the minutes of the July 22nd, 2020 meeting? Mm-hmm. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Bonnie Howland, motion.
Bonnie Howland, do I hear a second?
I second. Dean Barnes.
Dean Barnes. Motion on the floor. Any discussion of the minutes? Hearing none, I will call for the vote, which we will do by roll call. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Moving on to new business. First application is 200 Fair Street, an in-kind facade restoration, repair and repainting of all wooden elements, wooden frames, fascia boards, soffit and soffit brackets in white, and repainting of all masonry elements in Benjamin Moore Amherst Gray HC-167. Brick repointing, regrouting, and repair. Application is Fair Maiden LLC. Andrew, are you on to describe what you want?
Yes, Hayes. I'm here with Ian from our office, and we have been working on what to do for years with that building, and we're in the process of restoring the whole building. We took the tin shed off the Maiden Lane side, and in the process of repainting, we did try to take the paint off, but it's beyond that. So we're going to repoint and solidify the shell And then we tried different colors. I'm sure you saw our swatches up there. And everyone loved the color we chose.
I'll
So-
note that this has already been approved by the HLPC at its last meeting.
There you go. And so we ask you to review it, and if you have any thoughts, let us know.
Did everyone have a chance to review this? Does anyone have a question or an issue to raise with Andrew? Do I hear a motion to approve on an
Okay.
advisory? Well, first, do I hear a motion to approve this as a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes.
Motion,
Dean, do I hear a second?
second.
Motion by Dean Barnes, second by Michael Del Priore. There's a motion on the floor. Is there any further debate on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Good night.
Beautiful. Next item on the agenda is 27 West Chestnut Street, an application to install a stone retaining wall with a maximum of 3 feet in height and 20 inches in length parallel to the street, supporting a 6-foot high by 30-foot wide wood and wire fence with central 4-foot high gate with an 8-foot high open frame, enclosing a new garden and the front of the entrance and along the western wing in front of the house. The applicants are the applicant is David Smilo, the home's owner. David, are you here?
Yes.
You guys want to briefly explain what this is about? The application pretty thoroughly described it with pictures.
Sure. We're putting in a small enclosed vegetable, fruit, vegetable and herb garden in the front yard at the top of the hill that's in front of the house.
And the retaining wall runs along the length of the slope, ending in a flat plane, so that it's even with the ground there, and that's to hold back the fencing. The fencing should be mostly see-through, so it shouldn't block the view of the house from the street. And once the wood is aged, we'll paint it to be in character with the house.
I will note also that the HLPC has already approved this. We
Right.
are here as an advisory commission. Any questions of the applicants? Everyone had a chance to look at this? Do I hear a motion to approve the installation of the stone retaining wall and the fence at 27 West Chestnut Street as per, do I first hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Bonnie Howland, make a motion.
Bonnie makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Dean Barnes.
Dean, any further debate on declaring this a type 2 action? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it on declaring this a type 2 action under seeker. Do I hear a motion to approve the design of the stone retaining wall and fences for the front yard garden at 27 Chestnut Street as proposed? Michael Del Priore makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Bonnie
Second.
Howland, second.
Bonnie Howland makes a second. There's a motion on the floor. Is there any further debate or discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Aye.
Have a great night, guys.
Hayes, this is Sue. If I could interrupt, I believe, and Julie, also that you did not take a vote on the actual 200 Fair Street action. You did the seeker.
Oh, okay.
So can you go back to that, please?
Sure, sorry. So, do I hear a motion to approve the improvements applied for 200 Fair Street?
As submitted.
As submitted. Michael Del Priore makes the motion. Is there a second?
Dean Barnes.
Dean Barnes. Motion on the floor. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes officially have it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next item of business is 602 Broadway, an application to renovate a single-story vacant masonry building with changes to the fenestration, brick facade, new windows, doors, awnings, lighting, dividing the structure into 3 commercial spaces. Morgan Coy, applicant and owner. Michael or Morgan, do you want to sort of walk us through what you're talking about doing?
Yeah. Well, this was not the original plan, as you know. So this is kind of our pivot in times of COVID, going from a place where we were really hoping to be able to do a structure that would be a theater, and right now does not seem the right time to create a public space for gathering. So, you know, I feel mixed about this, but I feel like we're able to, we're able to look at this and say, how can we take this building that looks in this certain way, still maintain a lot of the same ideas that we had, to try to incorporate ideas of the original history and some industrial past, and bring in, you know, some divided light in windows, and not build up. So, I mean, I think that part of the real question here will be, and where I'm happy to come back and meet with you again, is about what the ultimate color of the brick looks like here. Because we've looked at it and we're going to repoint certain pieces of brick that are broken and really need to be repointed. But ultimately, I would absolutely come back to talk about what kind of color brick feels appropriate here, because people have painted on this brick. It's not, you know, there's been graffiti, and we're not going to be able to restore the brick that's on the brick sides of this without painting it really effectively. So I'm definitely going to be open to talking about colors of paint that feels appropriate. And, you know,
So
I
you
mean,
would come back to us. You would come back to us with a final brick color choice.
yeah, I mean, really, this meeting more is for us to try to. My intention for this building was to try to bring life into it, and so knowing that the state that our whole world is right now, just saying, okay, how can I make this affordable spaces that is going to be appropriate for what we have right now, and also still address the design issues of taking kind of an ugly building on Broadway and making it more attractive and looking like we're still going to do something that speaks to the future of Kingston. I mean, that was the intention of this building before, and it remains that. I just unfortunately feel that, you know, I did not want to change this plan. However, I feel kind of like this is where we are right now, and this is still a way that in a short period of time we can open these up as some sort of shops and get people in there, which was my intention before. do it aesthetically in a way that matches. And I think that this look still agrees with the general neighborhood area. We're going to put in some garage doors, which I feel like is kind of a nice way to keep a divided glass, a divided light look, and also actually play to some of the concerns of our COVID-19 times of being like, hey, how can we bring more air into these spaces and make this into something that if this goes on for another year, you can actually have space that is, works for people coming together in a distanced way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was sort of what we're looking at, and it's an affordable option, but it's an attractive, affordable option that I feel like works with our time. So, that's
Questions for Morgan?
Just out of curiosity, do
Mike.
you think this is, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, that's okay. No, I was just going to say, I think it looks beautiful and elegant, and I like the colors just as they are, the light gray and the charcoal and the use of the steel with the brick. I think it looks awesome. I mean, my only question might be the very large 602, but that
that can shrink down, yeah.
a graphic. But everything else I think looks beautifully done.
Bonnie?
Great minds think alike. That's basically what I was going to say. I love everything aesthetically about the building. Did you feel that you were going to go away from the gray, or you don't know yet? Because I really like how this gray looks.
We like the gray. I just, I mean, I'm happy to go right in that direction. That definitely works for us. For me, I just want to make sure that our openings work for you and the windows work for you, because those are the things that we'd like to move on to be able to actually make this building happen. And we're flexible with any kind of paint color or that kind of thing in the future. But the openings are the pieces that really kind of make the difference for us, because that makes it mean that we can do this before winter and we can actually hit our time schedule, to be able
So
to
the idea would be try to finish this up by winter or get it?
Oh yeah. Oh, we're ready to go. We're ready to go on this.
So
Any
you're
other
completely
questions?
coming away from ever going up like the previous one.
I can't say that for sure. I mean, we were really, honestly, this is a strange timing zone, because if I had been pushing, I mean, I think that I'm an optimistic person and I really wanted this to happen. And so for the past several months, I had been really pushing a variety of different engineers to figure out how soon we could make this happen. And it was taking a long time. And then COVID.
You've come to a really good result. If you feel, I mean, personally, and I think the team, what you've come to, this is great.
I mean, I'm happy with this. It's just, I'm also
It's not ultimately what you wanted.
What we were going to do. I was like, this is great. We're going to do this. And now, like I said, it's a pivot, which I feel like all of us are doing, just figuring out how are we going to move in a different direction to make something still happen. And so I'm committed to that. And yeah, we're moving. We're ready to do this. And who knows, in the future, it could grow and go up higher. I have not completely thrown that out. I just, in the short term, have said this is not happening right now.
Got it.
Dean or Kevin, do you have any questions or comments?
I just echo what Michael already said. So I think I'm good.
Dean?
No, I really like the design and think it's a smart pivot.
I just want to say, when I opened this application, Morgan, I was disappointed, like I'm sure you are, that something truly ambitious like the theater couldn't be done now. But I got to tell you, I think we're really lucky to have you doing this. I think this is brilliant too. It's not maybe quite as epic as the other thing would be, but I totally understand why that's not plausible right now. And this is a vast, vast, vast improvement on what's there. And we should be so lucky that everyone has this eye for this taste level, this eye for design, and improving the sort of streetscape on Broadway. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I mean, we'll do it. We're ready to go. So, I mean, I'm excited too. You know, I'm a believer. So we'll see what happens next. Who knows? But
Great. Do I hear a motion, or is there any other questions, comments? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes.
Dean, do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland.
Second by Bonnie. Motion on the floor about declaring this a type 2 action under seeker. Is there any debate about that? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I am Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McElroy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the renovation of 602 Broadway as proposed?
Bonnie Howland, make the motion.
Second.
Bonnie, do I hear a second?
Dean.
Jean Barnes. Motion on the floor. Any further debate or discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McElroy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you again, Morgan. It looks amazing.
all right. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you all again somewhere soon.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Next item of business is 194 Wall Street, renovation of a multifamily residence, including repairing all elements in need of repair on facade, roof, rebuilding a front porch, replacement of wooden windows and clad windows, removal of metal flue pipe, removal of storm windows. Carter Peabody, applicant, Putnam Avenue LLC owner. Carter, are you here?
I'm representing Carter. My name is Paul Jankovich.
Okay, do you want to just walk us through, Paul, what the basic plan is here?
Basically, what we'd like to do is this is almost maintenance, replace the single glazed windows with clad windows with a very similar mullion pattern, okay? I believe I provided a sample of the type of window unit we plan to use. It's 2/2, match exactly what's existing today. Elimination of the storm windows, of course. Repair the porch as it is today with the same elements across with just a one-on-one replacement on this particular project. Remove a pipe, an exhaust pipe with a furnace that's on the exterior of the building along the driveway, and put new gutters and leaders on the house and level out the porch, repaint. And I guess the most major element here is the color that the owner selected to paint the house. He would like to use a very dark gray color with the slight contrast of the black window frames. So the intent is really just a maintenance with a repainting and repairing of the siding and replacement of the windows.
Getting some feedback. Any questions or concerns for Paul? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker? Michael Del Priore, do I hear a second?
Second.
Kevin McAvoy. Any further discussion of declaring this a type 2 action? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
and Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the renovation of the multifamily residence at 194 Wall Street as proposed?
Hayes, before the motion, there were two color schemes that were presented for the siding and for the trim. If the commissioners have them in front of them. Paul, do you know if there is a preference by the owner for either one? One was the Temptation, the other was the Nightfall for the building siding. One's a little darker shade.
Paul?
He appears frozen.
I'm fine with, I'm personally fine with leaving that to his discretion once he has samples up.
Yeah, it's negligible for our choosing.
Just wanted to make sure. All right.
So let me rephrase that. Do I hear a motion to approve the multifamily facade renovation at 194 Wall Street as proposed with discretion granted to the applicant to choose between the two paint schemes presented?
I make a motion.
Dean, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Michael? There's a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion or debate? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Paul. Next item of business, 73 Broadway, signage for a new hair salon business, one double-sided 33 by 33 inch by 3/4 inch PVC with digitally printed HB matte graphic applied, mounted to 40 inch by 2 by 2 square aluminum pole. Timely signs applicant on behalf of Dorothy Pearson, owner. Tyson, are you here?
I am here. Hi, everyone.
Did everyone get a chance to see this?
Hi, Tyson.
Hi, everyone.
Looks great to me. Does anyone have any questions of Tyson?
I do just want to say that I will be making sure that our client has the City of Kingston named as additionally insured because this is an overhanging sign.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker? I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Well, you made the motion, Hayes Clement.
You'll
Second.
second. Got it.
Yeah. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of declaring this a type 2 action under seeker? I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the signage as presented by Timely Signs for 73 Broadway with the City of Kingston named as additionally insured?
Motion?
Kevin makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Michael Del Priore makes a second. Motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion or debate? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes?
Aye.
Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Next item of business, 620 Broadway. Signage for new marketplace and community restaurant to double-sided bent flange, 22.625 inches wide by 7.25 inches high by 0.080 inches deep, thick aluminum signs, digitally printed graphics, 147.5 inches by 47.5 inches by 0.25 inches thick Debond panel sign with digitally printed graphics. Applicant is Timely Signs on behalf of Yiwan Incorporated owner. Tyson, do you want to take us through that one?
Yes. So yeah, basically as the package shows, they're looking to do the two very small aluminum signs above the doors there. They're actually that small because we want to make sure that they're 96 inches to the bottom as a minimum. I'm not sure, do they require signs of that size? Does that require City of Kingston to be additionally insured as well?
Yes, Tyson.
Okay, I will make sure that happens. Then the building signs, so that's the round sign, and the smaller one there says "and community space." That goes on the brick facade, or on the brick right between the two doors, because this is a property it's two properties that is joined as one there. So it's going in between the two. And which actually the last page does show the blowout, in case everybody didn't realize that already. And then they have all this vinyl that they want to apply, single color vinyl, except for that small piece of color for their logo on the glass as shown as well.
This all meets planning department, all the rules, so
Yes,
in
it
terms
does.
of space and the window and all that.
Yeah, it actually calculates to approximately 10% of the space of the window when I added that up.
Okay. Any questions of Tyson? Any issues? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
I make a motion, Dean.
Motion by Dean Barnes. Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie.
Second by Bonnie Howland. Motion on the floor. Is any further discussion of that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Mike Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the signage for 621 Broadway as presented with the City of Kingston named as additionally insured?
I'll motion.
Michael Del Priore makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Dean Barnes.
Second.
Second by Dean Barnes. Motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion or debate? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Tyson. Oh, we got one more,
Thank
Tyson.
you. One more.
All righty.
You're not through with us yet. Number 1 Albany Avenue. This is the Governor Clinton. Proposal is for signage for a construction company, one single-sided 120-inch wide by 26-inch high, digitally printed high-performance vinyl with matte over laminate, a 1/8 inch existing A panel to replace the existing sign currently mounted on the panel frames. Applicant is Timely Signs of Kingston on behalf of Landmark Preservation LP. Tyson, you want to walk me through that one?
Yes, so the sign that's up there now, which is shown in the bottom right of that presentation, we did not make that sign. I'm not sure who did or installed it, but it does not match the rest of the signs on that building. We've actually done most of the signs in that building, so we make them all the same size to fit inside the frame, which is what this much better laid out sign is going to, hopefully, as long as you guys approve this.
Thank you for your attention to detail.
Absolutely.
Any questions of Tyson? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
I'll second it.
Michael Del Priore makes the second. Motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion of declaring this a type 2 action under seeker? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I now hear a motion to approve the sign redesign for 1 Albany Avenue for Daniel O'Connell's Sons as presented by Timely Signs?
Bonnie, make a motion.
Bonnie Howland makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Michael Del
Kevin.
Priore makes a second. Motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion or debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thanks, Tyson.
Okay, you too.
Aye, Tyson.
Next item of business is actually an item for discussion. Adrielle Farr, Director of Cultural Affairs, to discuss the city's arts policy and master plan. Are you with us, Adrielle?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here tonight and for taking a little time. I just wanted to take a few moments to just kind of bring you all up to speed with where we're at with our work that we had done for a arts policy, public art policy for the city. We had started in about 2018 working on a draft for a public art policy for the city. And originally we had kind of had in our sights to focus specifically on mural, and then through community feedback found that it might be a little bit more productive to expand our work to consider public art large. So we had put together a draft in about mid-2018, and we presented a draft to the public, and we did receive some feedback that we still had some work to do. And it was right about that time that we ended up securing a grant for a really exciting project, which is the Arts and Culture Master Plan for the City of Kingston. So this planning project is going to be a way for community members to provide some feedback on what they think the future for arts and culture should be in the city. And it relates to anything from conversations about what facilities Kingston might need, talks a little bit about how we can kind of empower and uplift arts and culture, but it also is a space for us to have a discussion about policy. So currently we are going to kind of keep the conversation of public art in the city involved in the Arts and Culture Master Plan. So just so that folks can kind of get an understanding, I am just going to go ahead and pop this link in the chat. And this is to the chat is disabled, so never mind. But if you head over to the Engage Kingston website, which is the city's new platform for public engagement, we do have this section for the Arts and Culture Master Plan, and it's underneath projects. It's the second one. So you all can, after this meeting, go take a look there, register on the website, and stay up to date on what we're working on with the Arts and Culture Master Plan. And we'd really like to hear from our, from people who are engaged in the arts already, but also folks who maybe haven't necessarily considered themselves a part of that community. I personally consider historic preservation in our historic community a large part of our art and culture community. So I'd love to kind of just invite you all to participate in that process. And as the conversations turn towards, I think it would be really important and critical for us to hear from some of you all, so we could learn a little bit about some of your wants, desires, thoughts, concerns related to how we might develop some policy for the city.
I guess the most relevant thing to this commission, Adrielle, and it comes up frequently, is the question of public art, specifically art on the side of buildings that fall with either the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission or the Heritage Area Commission.
Right.
what the policy is on approving that, and where the line is between commercial signage
Mm.
and messages that have to be approved by us, and art, which seems to lie outside the jurisdiction of anybody right at the moment. I don't think either of our commissions has any interest in wading into a debate about choosing what art should be presented or what messages should be presented. We're not interested in that. We are interested in policies around who has to sign off on a building facade being used, how long things can stay up as art, and what the policy is going to be, just in terms, again, not of vetting an artistic message or symbols, but just vetting materials that are going to be used, quality of construction, and again, how long it stays up.
Okay, that's really great to hear, because I think that for those of us who were working on developing this draft, that was something that we too wanted to make sure, like we were reiterating to all community members, is this is not a conversation necessarily about, you know, going in and deciding who can do what. It's just more of kind of following some of the guidelines that we have established and just reiterating to community members how to go through that process, and to also just, you know, consider their timelines, and get to know some of our commissions who are involved in historic preservation, and, you know, work together as a community to bring some more art into our community, but to also respect the existing standards that exist that protect our historic landmarks. So that's definitely, you know, something that's on the forefront of my mind. So as we move forward with redrafting our policy, which I do think will probably be something that we're looking at in about 2021, just because there are kind of a myriad of different things we're hoping to discuss with the cultural master plan. But, you know, I do just want to, you know, reiterate for all the members of the commission that whenever I'm speaking with people who are looking to do projects in the community, you know, I am definitely making sure to steer them in your direction and to, you know, just encourage that open line of communication. So hopefully we can, you know, get people comfortable with just following the protocol. And I think that'll be a really good way to, you know, create projects that, again, are respecting the existing regulations. So I just want to make sure you all know I'm very much hearing that message, and it's something that we're definitely going to consider as we redraft.
Yeah, I think too, just kind of piggybacking on what Hayes said, you know, maintenance, ongoing maintenance of whatever gets installed, I think is very important. And another thing that has come up, and I don't know how the policy addresses it, but there's existing painted signage on the older buildings in the business district areas that I think should be preserved, because they kind of tell the story of the history of that building, the occupancy of that building in the past. And I, for one, don't really want to see some of those just covered over with new works or new signage. You know, if they choose to restore them, I think that could be an interesting item. But, you know, I would just hate to lose some of the city's history by not being cognizant of those.
I completely agree. And that's another reason too why kind of encouraging conversation is just an important thing for me, because that's something that I think a lot of, you know, folks had not necessarily taken into consideration, that, you know, these signs are a part of our cultural identity. I know for myself, like I'm very much kind of attached to the Jennifer Shop sign. I would be heartbroken if something was ever to happen to that. I know that O Positive, with the recent mural that they did on the side of Eddie's, you know, we made sure to instruct them, like, you need to go around this entire sign, etc. So I definitely think that you know, in our first draft of the policy, we have a specific line to say that no works of art, be they murals or sculptures or whatever, would be impeding or entrenching on any existing signage. So I thought that was a really great way to kind of incorporate some of the concerns of the historic preservation community into the policy. So, you know, moving forward, I think language like that is absolutely going to remain. I know there had been some also communication about keeping projects off of Bluestone, just, you know, as kind of a, let's just not even have it because it causes so many problems. So I definitely think that there's a lot of space moving forward to create something that can take those concerns into consideration.
anyway, to the extent we should all be mindful also that, you know, I don't know how long you were here for this meeting tonight, but, you know, a big part of our job is we're approving signage for businesses and business owners.
Mhm.
And then and sometimes it's painted on the side of a building.
Mhm.
And then there's this enormous loophole where if somebody says it's art, there's really no oversight of it now. And again, we don't want to get into the content business at all. It's just, let's have some reasonable guidelines about where this appears, for how long, and what the standards for construction need to be.
Absolutely. And we're, you know, I'm also very kind of understanding of the position that you all are in, as, you know, you're approving applications. And, you know, as we all know, working in the community, somebody, you know, they're like, well, why did they have to go through this? And I didn't, all the kind of back and forth. So, you know, definitely very cognizant of that. And that's another reason why we do kind of want to, you know, get started on our redrafting. I think it's just, you know, kind of taking in the feedback that we'd received and just doing that work. But yeah, I think it would be really great to just set some guidelines so that everybody understands, you know, the protocol moving forward, and also just gives you all, as, you know, people who are approving applications and representing these functions of the city, kind of gives you a little bit, you know, just more support in what you're doing.
And just where it's allowed of right, I guess is what we're talking about too. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Dean, Mike Del Priore, you had a question.
Yeah, hi, Adriel. I have just a quick question for the procedure, for instance, for the O positive murals when they go up. How does that happen? People ask me. I'm also on the board of the Friends of Historic Kingston too, and I get the same kind of questions sometimes. That, well, how did that get up there? What is the actual procedure for that? If you can, in a brief, in a.
Sure. So the majority of the murals that have gone up in our community have actually gone up before my tenure. So I have kind of been looped in as a lot of other folks into just kind of understanding a little bit of the process. As they are a private organization, they generally tend to have contracts and agreements with property owners, building managers, and then they connect with artists to put those murals up. We have been encouraging O Positive to just keep open communication with the city due to kind of the nature of the way that their organization is structured. Sometimes it can be, the timelines are a little bit different, and they can be a little bit, just kind of a little bit faster. So that's one of the things that we've been really encouraging with trying to build a bridge with that organization, is to say, hey, the more information you give us beforehand, we can steer you in the correct direction. So if you say, oh, we have a mural that we want to go up in a historic district, we can show you the channels to go through that way, the right way. And, I think that that's one of the nice things about having someone in my position here at the city, is that now that there's somebody here who kind of speaks a little bit of the artist language, I think it's really helped kind of invite us into their process. O Positive is not the only organization that that puts up murals in our community. We've had some really amazing murals. We have one down in the Rondout done by Todd Samara that it's like absolutely gorgeous. Maritime Museum has a few frescoes done by well. So I think that's another thing as well, is just kind of acknowledging that there are so many different ways that artists choose to install and go about projects. So if we have a structure on our end, on the city side, it makes it easy for everybody to understand kind of what our expectations are, and then we can let artists kind of do what they need to do, as long as they're kind of walking through certain channels. So that's our goal there.
I guess my other part of the same question is, again, like Hayes, I'm not talking about, I went to Pratt, I went to art school, I know how that works. But who ultimately says yes or no to a mural, or is it always a yes, or who approves it? I want to paint, a 20-foot mural on the side of the building. The owner says it's fine with him. Who would approve it?
So currently it would be up to each individual property owner. That would be kind of how we have it now, since we don't necessarily have a formal structure. And that's one of the positives about working on this policy, is that we're going to be able to create more of a system where we do have a set of approvals. Currently it would, like I said, it would be up to the property manager to say, I approve my building being used for this or that. So that was one of the things that we had an interesting time with coming up with a solution for in our initial draft. We had suggested a public art panel be established, a committee that would be in charge of overseeing applications. So that was one of our strategies for doing that. As we all know, sometimes
It's nearly impossible. That's an art guest panel.
Exactly. So one of the
Very
things
difficult. I'm not, again, and I'm not criticizing in any way, just wondering, because here we are talking about a paint color trim for a house,
right.
but here comes an 8-story mural with no comment or questioning of it.
Right. And those are great points that, we had a public meeting last year where we invited community members to provide feedback. We also had a period for open written comment and for calls and things like that. And those are points that I had been hoping to kind of hear more of, because I felt like they were, points that kind of outlined why we were even working on a policy to begin with. Is, it's not about policing art. It's not about, telling people what they can and can't do. It's just about having an even playing field so that everybody knows what the system is. And that also gives us as, city representatives a little bit of an easier time to, one, walk people through the process, and 2, to deal with things that we, if something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, we have kind of we have a policy, so we can actually kind of, have a conversation about that. So, yeah, I would definitely love, that's another reason why I was hoping that members of this commission would be encouraged to sign up with the Engage Kingston website and stay up to date with the Arts and Culture Master Plan, because that'll give an opportunity for points like that to be made where other folks can hear them as well, and kind of be tuned into thinking a little bit about the larger picture. So I definitely appreciate that point of view.
And thank you very much. It's a tough position. Sometimes it's heads you lose, tails you lose, and somebody walk by and say that's beautiful, and somebody's going to walk by and say it's graffiti.
Right.
And,
it's a very
I certainly don't want to be the one judging it. I have my own viewpoints, but okay, as long, again, I guess if somebody wants a mural on the side of their thing, they can do that. If I guess I still don't know if, as long as it's not, I don't know, political, horrible, whatever.
Well, again, Michael, that's not true. Building owners have to come in and get a 12 by 24 inch sign approved for the front of their building. So again, I'm going to leave it to Adriel and the art commission, the sticky task of deciding what content to approve. But I think all the HLPC and HAC and property owners need some sense of where these things can go, of right, where various commissions are going to have some say so, not on content, but just on placement and duration. Are they here temporarily? What does temporary mean? Does that mean 6 weeks, 6 months? All of that. And I think we should definitely be part of that conversation, although I don't ever want to see us getting mucked up into the content questions.
Right.
Yeah. As we're all thinking about kind of, how we kind of walk around that conversation, how we engage. And like I said, this was a long process. This draft took about a year to put together. I have read almost every single public art policy that exists in the country. I've done a lot of research on it. It is contentious, and a lot of different communities approach it in a lot of different ways. And one of the nice things about Kingston is that we are a community that I feel does a good job of communicating opinions and ideas. So like, we'd mentioned a little bit before, I just really hope to have the both of our commissions who deal with historic preservation applications and that kind of thing involved in the conversation a little bit more, because I think it would be really helpful to developing a policy that goes over well for all communities. That was another reason why I just felt like it would be worthwhile for me to come and introduce myself to everyone, just so that you all know, my door is always open. Feel free to send me an email, phone call. If you're wearing a mask, you can stop by at City Hall. And I'm always open to having a conversation about this and to just learning more about your viewpoints. So if you ever at all have any recommendations, you read something you find interesting, you find an approach you like, find an approach maybe you don't like, feel free to send it over. And yeah, I look forward to working together with you all as we move forward on redrafting.
It would be great to hear from you again in 2 or 3 months when you have the kernel of something drafted or some policy direction. It would be great for us to be able to weigh in then.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll stay in contact with Sue and Julie and keep you all up to date and ask for some feedback. And yeah, I'll definitely be back again.
Thank you, Adriel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adriel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Addie.
Bye all.
Anything else, Sue? I see our next meeting is scheduled for September 30th.
I do. The next Heritage meeting is September 30th, and the Landmarks meeting is October 1st. So they are back-to-back nights. Because a lot of the applicants end up going to both commissions, we also have some dual commission members on both commissions. I would like to propose, and I'm going to bring this up with Landmarks as well, that we combine the meetings into one meeting. Both commissions would meet together. You can interact in discussion with the applicants, but then each commission would take an independent vote on the proposals at hand.
So we'll be basically running through 2 different agendas at the same meeting.
Yeah, where there are dual applications, they would be handled once, in terms of discussion. And then at the end, there would be the separate vote structures going on. And each commissioner, each chairperson, Hayes, you and Mark would basically be running the meeting.
Got it. I think it's a great idea. It could give us sort of a dry run of what it would be like to run more of those meetings simultaneously on a monthly basis. Anybody have an objection to it? So Sue, yeah, I think let's try it.
Okay. All right. So I'll work with Julie to sketch out details. We will be presenting the idea also to the Landmarks Commission next week when we meet with them. So once we have the consensus of both, then we can work on just putting it together.
What day are we talking about?
Can I
Which
ask
day?
What?
So would it be the 30th or the 1st?
We can, if there's a preference, we can send out, if there's a preference for either commission, it would be either the Wednesday or the Thursday. Is there a preference from this commission?
I don't.
Michael Dean?
No preference.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that makes it easy. Great.
So just for the board members who weren't, the commissioners who weren't here before the meeting convened, Sue reported that the city council did vote to let us reduce the number to 7 commissioners, which I think is great news. So that's effective now. So we have 1 vacant seat to fill, essentially, Bernie Matthews' seat. So has he resigned, Sue, or it
He has
expired?
not yet resigned. His term is coming up. The date escapes me, but I feel that we also have 2 alternates now that we can appoint. So which will not affect the quorum number, but it will allow for, more freedom of, people to not feel obligated that they need to attend each and every meeting.
Well, even tonight, one of the alternates would have been a voting member.
Correct.
So I guess my point is, assuming we can get a resignation from Bernie, we have 2 alternate slots and a full commissioner slot to fill. So any ideas, anybody you think would be good, send them to Sue and Julie.
Can I ask a question?
Sure,
Sure.
yes.
My computer locked up just when you were voting on 194. What was the outcome,
Yes.
please?
Yes, well, yes, it was approved unanimously with the discretion of the color choice left to the applicant based on the 2 colors schemes that were presented within the application materials.
Great, thank you. Thank you all tonight.
Take care.
Good night.
Take care.
All right, so any ideas for, oh, I'm sorry, Julie, were you?
I was just saying bye to Paul Jenkins.
Okay. So any ideas for new members, send them to Julie and Sue. Any other thing for discussion? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Michael Del Priore, do I hear a second? Dean Barnes, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I think the roll call is complete. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night,
See you
everybody.
next month. Take care.
Good night,
Have a good rest of your summer.
Go wash your hands, everybody.
Hi, Sue. I had to
Hi.
hide everybody and turn off my camera because it wasn't working.